Guys, so let's do IT Essentials Module 4. What is the primary benefit of implementing a regular preventative maintenance plan? What is the primary benefit of implementing a regular preventative maintenance plan? That would be to reduce the potential hardware and software problems and computer downtime. It would reduce the potential hardware, software problems, and the computer down. Okay, so what are the two factors? What two factors should influence the development of a preventative maintenance plan? What are the two factors that should influence the development of a preventative maintenance plan? Computer location and environment and computer use. The computer's location or environment and the computer's use. In a dusty environment, like a construction site, what should be done regularly to protect the computers? Clean or replace the building air filters to reduce the dust in the air. What is the primary risk of accumulated dust inside of a computer case? It prevents airflow and reduces the component's cooling system or cooling. When cleaning a fan with compressed air, what precautions should be taken? Hold the fan blades in place to prevent overspinning. You should hold the fan blades in place to prevent overspinning. What two issues are primarily related to cables inside of a computer? What are the two issues that are primarily related to cables inside of a computer? It's called crimped cables and bent pins. What should you check when inspecting the RAM modules during preventative maintenance? What should you check when you are inspecting the RAM modules and during the preventative maintenance? That the modules are seated securely and retaining clips are not loose. That the modules are seated securely and the retaining clips are not loose. When cleaning the outside of a computer case with a cleaning product, what is the correct procedure? You should put a small amount of the cleaning cloth first, then wipe the case. You should put a small amount on the cleaning cloth first, then you can wipe the case. What is the risk of a loose screw inside of a computer case? It can cause a short circuit. When you're using compressed air to clean the internal components, why should you keep the can upright? To prevent fluid from leaking onto the computer's component. Is it acceptable to work on a computer in socks instead of an anti-static mat? Obviously it's not, but it says that is false. It does not provide adequate electrostatic ESD protection. What does ESD stand for? Electrostatic discharge. It does not provide adequate electrostatic discharge protection. What should you listen for when you are inspecting storage devices during maintenance? An unusual sound like rattling or knocking or grinding. That's what you should look for. What power devices should be inspected during preventative maintenance? You should look for power strips, surges, suppressors, and the UPS device. You should look for power strips, surge suppressors, and UPS devices. What does UPS stand for? Uninterrupted power supply. What is the proper way to clean a keyboard and mouse during maintenance? Use compressed air to remove the debris. Why should missing expansion slots be covered? Why should missing expansion slot covers be replaced? Why should missing expansion slot covers be replaced? To prevent dust, dirt, or pests from entering the computer. Which cleaning tool should be used to remove the dust from the components inside of the computer case? Just use compressed air. After identifying a problem, is the next step in the troubleshooting? What is the next step in the troubleshooting process after you've identified the process? You should establish a theory of probable cause. You should establish what? A theory of probable cause. What is the recommended procedure when cleaning a CPU with a CPU fan with the compressed air? You should hold it down to prevent the spinning. I'm guessing here. I was right. You should hold down the fan blades to prevent spinning while blowing it with compressed air. Which task should be performed on a hard drive as part of preventative maintenance plan? Which task should be performed on a hard drive as part of the preventative maintenance plan? You should ensure that the cables are firmly connected. What is the common symptom of failing power supply? The computer sometimes does not turn on. What should be done if the computer clock is losing the correct time? Change the CMOS battery. I was right. You should replace the CMOS battery. Which step in the troubleshooting process helps avoid repeating previous repair processes? Which step in the troubleshooting process helps avoid repeating previous repair processes? That would be the documentation of the problem and its solution. What are the two effects of not having a preventative maintenance plan? There's going to be increased repair costs and increased downtime. Which components should be regularly inspected for dust and damage during preventative maintenance? The CPU heatsink and the fan assembly. What is the primary benefit of preventative maintenance for the computer hardware? That would be fewer potential hardware problems and less computer downtime. What should be done to ensure optimal computer operating performance? Not obstructing the vents or airflow and maintaining proper room temperature. Do not obstruct the vents or airflow and maintain a proper room temperature. Why or which software maintenance tasks should be part of the regular schedule? Updating virus definition files and security software. Updating virus definition files and security software. What is the purpose of holding fan blades when cleaning with compressed air? To prevent the damage from overspinning or wrong direction movement. How can dust accumulation affect the computer's components? It can prevent airflow and reduce cooling of the components. What should be documented after completing the troubleshooting repairs? The problem, the solution, and the components that we used. That's what should be documented. The problem, the solution, and the components that we used. And we're done.